I want to be able to mentor and give guidance to people through the lens of the experience that I have. Welcome to Build with Rob. It is Rob Dyrdek, CEO, man, entrepreneur, a guy just out here trying to live a harmonious, high quality existence and trying to preach it to others to do the same. And as an entrepreneur, what do I have? I have a duty to inspire and mentor other entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? And I think all of us that are entrepreneurs and have experience and an understanding of what it takes to build a company and what it means to build teams and actually achieve success in one of the hardest things in the world, that it's our duty to share it with others and mentor others and help give guidance to individuals and people that don't have the same access that we have, and even my path. I like to say I was raised by entrepreneur wolves because, I'm, started skating at the local skate shop that was ran by a serial entrepreneur that really gave me complete insight to how he was building, creating businesses that really laid the foundation for my desire to do the same thing. And then as I grew older, I had mentors that were the founders of the companies that I skated for, the Alien Workshop and both the creative side, and Mike Hill, who was the creative and marketing of the Alien Workshop, and Chris Carter, who was operations and sales and finance. Like, I had these two incredible mentors to kind of learn and understand business and creative marketing from at a very young age, which proved to be invaluable in my development as an entrepreneur and my desire to start a company at a really young age and begin the journey of starting multiple companies and really evolving into a much more refined entrepreneur as I got older. But part of my responsibility at this level of success is to help other entrepreneurs. That's why a big part of this show is allowing people to come on, pitch ideas, ask questions about, share their business vision, ask questions about business, share their life vision, and ask questions about life, because I want to be able to mentor and give guidance to people through the lens of the experience that I have, and a lot of people just never have access to even, learning about anything to do with building a company in any way, shape, or form. And for us down here at the Dyrdek Machine, what do? We ended up creating the Do-Or-Dier Visionary Foundation so that we could partner with existing foundations and charities that support educating underrepresented youth and previously incarcerated in different groups so that they can be taught the ways of entrepreneurialism, right? And on today's episode, we have a great group that is from the Build organization, the CEO, and then a 16-year-old winner of our See It, Believe It, Do It challenge, where this young man will win $10,000 in non-dilutive capital, and along with being on this show and continued mentorship as it relates to supporting these great organizations and what we're doing with our foundation work, right? Because at the end of the day, entrepreneurs need other entrepreneurs to help guide them and give them insight, especially if you don't have access to ever learning the ins and outs of what it even means to create a company. And you'll see today not only the work that this foundation is doing and how amazing it is, and how we piggyback on top of that and do a special challenge for the graduates to give them the opportunity to win non-dilutive capital, and then we also donate to the foundation itself and continue to support it and encourage other people to support that, right? Because it's part of my process and what I want to do as we continue to find success in this passion of creating businesses, and usually we're doing it with much more experienced entrepreneurs than a really young entrepreneur that ends up learning both life skills and business skills when they do join one of these organizations like Build. It's incredibly impactful, and you'll see that today because, for me, I preach it. You're never too young to start a company. You're never too young to begin to learn the skill set of a company, and of building a company, and what ideas are good and what ideas are not. Because look, I encourage my son to constantly pitch me ideas. Okay, and think about this. It's not like um, you know he's got the ultimate mentor, right? Because he's got his dad who's already at 5 years old is trying to teach him how to pitch ideas. Probably, between sometime in 7 and 10, I'm going to help this guy build a company. He'll probably have like 2 or 3 companies before he finishes high school. You know what I mean? Because really, what am I on? I'm like, hey, I didn't finish high school. I didn't go to college. So if you're on your 3rd company by your senior year in high school, maybe you don't need to go to college. You know what I mean? But if you want to, I support that as well. You know what I mean? But he has a deeper level of access that is a deep unfair advantage. Much like a professional athlete. And their son having access to all the very best ways to train and develop skills and ultimately relationships that can fast track you to a path in the NBA, i.e. Seth Curry and Steph Curry and the future for young Bronny and LeBron James as a father of mentoring him, right? I look at it no different, right? And it's a remarkable thing. My son is almost 6 years old. When I started, kind of pushing him to pitch me ideas, his ideas in the beginning weren't that great. I got to be honest. You know what I mean? His first idea, his first idea is he's like, I'm going to do a slipper company called Luso. And I said, well, son, that's already been done. Okay, first of all, it's a trademark issue. You know what I mean? It's a conflict for me. It is the exact name and very similar to what I've already created, So I'm like, you got to think about how your product is unique and different in the space. So, a couple weeks go by and then he hits me with like, I know what I want to create. I want to create a water bottle company. And I said, okay, well, that's cool. Well, how's it going to be different? And what's unique about it is like it has dinosaurs on it. I said, okay, all right, son, that's okay. That's pretty good. It certainly does make it different, but when you think about sort of the use case of what a water bottle would be for and is a standalone graphic of a dinosaur enough to differentiate it in the marketplace, I don't know if he understood any of that, but he certainly got the gist that what he was creating needed some sort of uniqueness to it that existed that wasn't like anything else that existed. And this is cool. What? It's Rob. He's just, kind of being cute and fun with his son and trying to push his son to really, really think about ideas and think about them through the lens of like how business works. I'm even teaching him how to negotiate. And yesterday, like, he negotiated with me because he didn't go to school and it's summertime that he could have a popsicle during the week and we only do popsicles on the weekend. He said, can we negotiate? And I said, because you just asked me to negotiate, yes, we can negotiate. And each night he asked me questions and, it can get grueling for me at night, trying to put him to bed and he keeps asking me questions and we negotiated. He said, how about I get a popsicle now and I don't ask questions tonight? I felt like I hit the lottery. I felt like I hit the lottery. This kid knew exactly. He knows that those questions kind of wear me out at night. He presented me value that I couldn't pass up. This kid got himself a popsicle from negotiating with me on a Thursday. Which is quite remarkable when you think about a 5-year-old being able to manipulate their father like that. But it worked. I didn't tell his mother either. But this kid a couple weeks ago said, "Hey, I really, really got the idea, Dad. I really got the idea." And so, what do we got now? Is it going to be plates with Spider-Man on it? What's it going to be? And he's like, and again, let me say this. Let me say this as loud and clear as possible. You are never too young to come up with an amazing idea. And my 5.5-year-old son said, "I have a great idea for my next company." And he said, the concept is pizza with honey on it. And I'm like, whoa. I said, okay, son, now we're talking. Now I'm like, man, that's actually like a real idea. Then I go and search, is there any place that has pizza with honey on it? And no, there's not. I'm like, wow, like, son, that's how you got to think. That pizza's a massive market, and you're positioning it in this unique way by putting sweet honey on it. And that's amazing, son. That's like a real idea. That's how you got to think. What do you want to call it? And he's like, "I want to call it Delish Honey." Then I'm like, what? Man, this kid just really came up with a real company concept. And I went out and bought delishhoney.com immediately because it was available. And it's remarkable to think, but just a little bit of development and mentor to someone so young that they absorbed it and came back with a unique idea that's actually a good idea. And really he put it on me and got real funny with it. So then it was like, now every time he would have pizza, I was like, "Is it okay if I have my company for dinner?" And look, I'm not making this up. This is as real and as true of a statement that I have ever said in my life. My 5-year-old son, after coming up with the concept for a company that would have a pizza that has honey on it that he would call Delish Honey, and I validated him by calling it brilliant and buying delishhoney.com. 2 days later, he said, "Is it okay if I have my company for dinner tonight?" Thought it was amazing, of course. And then he turned and asked his mother to make it for him. And she's like, "I'm not going to make it." And he's like, "That's how it works. Dad doesn't like make the stuff at the company. He just does the ideas and the people make the company." Like, just from overhearing and understanding how I operate the machine, this guy was already moving into like an investor, advisor, co-founder role. Mind-numbing. But it is what is possible when you have a great mentor and coach that is when your father is passionate about business building and trying to instill it and be your entrepreneurial mentor. I really think people would enjoy how absurd that is, because it is the truth of what my life is at home of raising children. But look, we have a great show today to really see the impact of an amazing organization that's doing so much good across this country. And I hope everybody will go to build.org and ultimately support it. But without further ado, let's bring in the CEO of Build. Ayele Shakur, the CEO of Build. Welcome to Build with Rob. Thank you so much for being here. I just got to tell you, so honored to partner with you guys and do the See It, Believe It, Do It challenge through the Do-Or-Dier Visionary Foundation. It turned out amazing. Could you please lay out the vision for what Build is and the mission that it's been on and how it's really been impacting the youth of America?
Absolutely. Well, Rob, first of all, thank you so much for having us on your podcast and for all of your support for the young entrepreneurs in the Build program. No coincidence that it's Build with Rob, and we are Build as well. And what we do in our organization is we help young people build businesses and ultimately help them build their lives. So Build is a nonprofit organization. We actually started out in the Silicon Valley area in East Palo Alto back in 1999. And we started out as a dropout prevention program because we wanted to inspire young people to get back on track academically. And we did it through the transformational power of entrepreneurship, helping students start real businesses with real money that they get to keep and connecting them with amazing mentors from the business community to help light their journey along the way. And so today, fast forward about 22 years later, Build has a powerful mission, and we've served over 10,000 students, launched more than 2,000 student-run businesses in our history, and really on an incredible trajectory of growth and scale to bring Build to every student and then every underserved community across America.
Yeah,
So
look,
Build's mission.
hey, look, before we get to the mission, because
Oh,
I
sure,
just
sure.
love hearing it, because I just think what the work that you guys are doing is absolutely incredible, and because it's deep.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? It's deep. It's like the skills that they learn through Build is for life, and they because
Exactly.
I like to think, like, like one of the cool aspects of entrepreneurship in general is once you understand the framework of how it works, like then now you have a foundation to get better and better and better at
Exactly.
understanding how to build a company, understanding what it actually takes to be successful, being more clear on those partners that you perhaps need to bring in around you to complement your skill sets. Like
Exactly.
there's all these things that you learn by just getting started and understanding the foundational framework of what it means to build a business, that I think
Mhm.
is the huge impact that you guys are making on people for the long term. Especially, it may not be the business they start with you. It could be their third business from now that
Mhm.
changes their lives, impacts the world, and employs thousands of people. So I love what you're doing. But hit us with the mission.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, our mission at Build is to ignite the power and potential of young people in under-resourced communities to build career success, entrepreneurial mindsets, and opportunities. And that's an acronym for us, the CEO, Career Success, Entrepreneurial Mindset, and Opportunity. And at Build, we say we're here to help young people become the CEOs of their own lives. And so it's really exactly what you said, Rob. It's about those transferable skills. Students are starting those real businesses at 14 and 15 years old. So
Yeah.
if you stop and think about that for a moment, a 14 or 15-year-old saying, I'm the CEO of a company that I created, right? That's an absolutely transformational experience. It changes how that student sees themselves. It changes how they show up in the world. It changes the possibilities they see for their future. So that's a really powerful and impactful thing that we do and Build with helping young people in these roles. And then we're teaching those 21st century skills as well: communication, collaboration, problem solving. These types of skills, critical thinking, creativity. We need those in school. We need those in the workforce. We need those in college, right? So those are the life
Yeah,
skills that
hey,
students
we
can
need
learn
those in
through
life.
entrepreneurship.
We need those in life. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Because all those
exactly.
skills, also, if you apply those to the way you approach building your life, you will
Yes,
live a much more harmonious, amazing life. So
that's
look, I want to
exactly
make
right.
sure that everybody that listens understands how great the program is. Where can they go to support the program and donate to the program?
Absolutely. They can go to build.org. And we say whether people have 2 hours a week or 2 hours a year, we have ways for them to get involved. People can join us as mentors, as business coaches, as judges at our various competitions, as skills based volunteers. So many opportunities for entrepreneurs, business leaders, anyone who cares about young people and wants to be part of making a difference in a young person's life should get on board with us and join us at build.org.
All right, well, I would implore everybody to do that. Appreciate you for coming on and giving us further insight to the program. Now about to introduce the world
Thank
to
you,
young
Rob.
Jalen. So I appreciate you. You be good.
Excellent. Thank you. Take care.
Jalen Harris, welcome to Build with Rob. You are the winner of the See It, Believe It, Do It challenge with Build. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Hey, look, I look. First of all, congratulations. You know what I mean.
Thanks.
I think you are a true young visionary. You know what I mean? And seeing your video, even seeing how you edited your video and really put sort of the energy and your sort of vision into what you're hoping to accomplish and what you've learned.
Hmm.
But I would like to first kind of let the audience and let them hear and understand what you have come up with and what your vision is for your company. Lay out the vision for your company. Hit us with the name and the vision that you have for it.
Yeah, sure. So the name is Jalen John. It's a luxury streetwear company, and so there's a lot of little things that I've done already, but for sure the ultimate vision is having my brand come to a place of establishment and materialization. I absolutely love streetwear and sneakers. I talk about it all the time and the ways that fashion can solve problems. And so being able to reach as many people as possible with it is the goal. Uh, yeah.
Yeah, and look, I think, what I love, first of all, now is your middle name John?
It's like a double name.
Oh, it is. So your full name is Jalen John?
No. It's like a abbreviated double name. So it's just like additional, but it's for the company.
Okay, so John, you just made up. It did not exist. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's so funny because I'm like, man, Jalen John sounds so like, and it's like even the way it's spelled, I'm like, oh man, it's like his middle name. It's the ultimate. Now, again, as you know, the best luxury brands are named after the designer and the founder and the
Yeah.
person that ultimately develops it, right? So it feels really really amazing. And look, I would say to you like, when you think about building out this plan and this vision for what you're creating, especially how it's sort of trailing into apparel and sneakers, right? Because I know that you have a pretty significant passion for actually sneaker design and development, right? And as someone who loves sneakers, who had, 40 plus signature shoes, I got to design shoes for years, and it's a incredible process when you
Yeah.
sketch something, then see it in a 3D model, then get it in real life. Oh man, there is nothing more incredible than seeing your idea from paper all the way to like your foot. You know what I mean? So be on the lookout for that. And I want to give you some advice. There's a sad part of that process where when you get your first shoe back as sample, it's always terrible. You know what I'm saying? There's never a world. Hey, look, when you design a shoe and you finally get it in 3D, there's never a world where you're like, man, that's amazing. You are always sad because it does not look like the way that you intended it, or the way that even your rendering looks like. So I want you to consider that when you get your first shoe. But it's an incredible process. And for me, look, I designed so many shoes for so many years, and it never gets old. It's one of the most thrilling and amazing and fun things in the world to do is develop a concept from your mind that you get to turn into a rendering, make into a piece of footwear that you get to actually walk around on. So trust me, as someone that's lived it, it's something that you're really going to enjoy. But let me give you this thought real quick as it's related to, sort of luxury pricing in the consumer, right? Because really it's sort of, I'm a young designer for the young generation, and this is like a buy us for us sort of luxury concept. And one thing that Pharrell did that I think you should really think about, when he did ice cream, he did in all the boutiques, he launched a $250 like diamonds and dollar signs, like ice cream shoe. But then he went and did a deal with Foot Locker and then had a $75 one in Foot Locker, and I would just, when you think about building out your plan, really thinking about using that really expensive, higher quality tier to be saved for your collaborations and sort of your bigger, sort of innovative products. And then consider having like that more accessible price range that allows a broader consumer base that's younger and may not have the same amount of money as part of your strategy. So I would definitely implore you to think about that as you build out your business plan. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And look, tell me, you as a young entrepreneur that went through the Build program, what did the Build program teach you? And ultimately, what did you learn about yourself in that process and what it means to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So, I mean, entrepreneurship is such a vast topic. And so having Build, being in the Build program, was just a huge help because I was able to kind of explore some of the areas and aspects of entrepreneurship that I wasn't aware of, and then things that I did know and that I thought that I was pretty good at, I was able to kind of get a more concrete understanding of. And so throughout the program, I've learned like different ways to just develop my business. I had a business plan prior to the program, but then coming to the program, I was able to develop it further. And then also, the resources that are offered are amazing. And so all of these kind of opportunities and tools, I guess, coming together at once, it just really creates a really well formed structure, I would say, and just a great starting point
Yeah.
because you have all of these, different aspects, and you're able to like consume them all, and then create and produce.
And then because how old are you right now?
I'm 16.
Yeah, you're so it's so funny. I knew you were really young, and so how old were you when you got into the actual program?
I think I was 14 when I started.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
Yeah.
It's something that I love so much about Build is like, man, they're able to like really connect and meet with you at 14 years old, where you already had the idea, but you hadn't learned. Where would you possibly learn the more technical side of evolving that business plan unless you had a resource like them? And already by 16, you now have a deeper understanding of what it means to even run a business, which is an incredible foundation for your future. And with that being said, I would love to understand, what is the vision for your life, man? When you see 5, 10 years from now, like, and what you want to create, what does the future look like for you?
Great question. I think that being the age that I am, there's a lot of ambition and passion, and so I think my life vision is heavily centered around, um, I guess, some of the goals that I have for myself, whether it's professional or personal. I'm always thinking about the future, and so part of my life is having children, and I want to be able to like give them everything and spoil them, sweet, not rotten, as my grandmother would say. But even beyond that, what I really want is to be an example for them. It's like you want to achieve and be a leader and a go-getter, all of these great things. But what it's really about is being an exemplification for someone else, whether that's someone close to me or someone that I don't know personally, but is inspired by my brand or what I do, and supports the idea of uplifting youth voices and realizing, just how valuable time is. And that's why I do what I do. Time, I see it like as sort of a transaction that you can't get back. And we waste so many years doing things that don't really matter to us because society tells us it should. And, I won't do that. I refuse to do that. And so I think that's kind of where the do-or-dier attitude kind of comes in, right? You have to be intentional, do it or you don't. And for me in my life, I want to do everything I want to do, and I'm willing to work to making that happen, because if I can make an impact and a change, I can solve problems, which is awesome.
Look, you're speaking to my soul, Jalen. You're speaking to my soul here. Okay. I mean, look, I wish I could say it the way you said it at 16 years old, because it took me till I was deep in my 40s to really understand it, and it's why I preach, like, I want people to design their life and their businesses at the same time and integrate them, because you're really trying to have a successful life. And if you can be a great father that lives a life with intention and can build your business and be balanced, and you will be the ultimate example of how to live to your children to perpetuate that. And that's really what I'm so committed to. It's like my kids get so much of my time and energy with purpose, and I do want them to see the love and the relationship that me and their mother has as like, hey, this is what's possible. This is what you should go out and chase, and ultimately seeing me take you to school every day, take you to every pediatrician appointment, be there for everything, encourage and be your ultimate champion, and make you as sweet as possible without getting rotten, you know what I mean? Because it's a fine line, you know what I mean? I'm a softie, you know what I mean? Thank God my wife's harder, because she'll have to check me, because like all my daughter has to do is cry, pick her up, and like, yeah, give her a popsicle. You're too cute. So that's how you make a rotten child. Luckily, my wife is going to prevent that. Well, look, I really enjoyed your video. Congratulations on the victory here, and I hope this money can help push your idea along and continue to give that confidence and belief in yourself that you can fulfill that vision. And just know that the older you get, the more you do, the more you learn, the better you will become, the clearer everything will be, and that belief will build over time. And I really believe that this foundation that you've created is going to lead you to not only success in business, but in life, man. And I'm honored to have you on this show, and honored that you won this event, man. So I appreciate you, appreciate the time.
Thank you.
All right, be good. Man, there you have it. Man, what an amazing young man. You know, it's nothing makes me feel as good about the vision that I have of looking at your life through this integrated lens of trying to find harmony. And if you're an entrepreneur building your life simultaneously, and that young man is a perfect example, man. You already thinking about that and thinking about how you can live that balanced life and learn to understand and control time and be a great father and role model to everybody around you at that age, man. That is, it's impressive, but you know, it is the value of an organization like Build. You know, that is what they instill in the kids that are able to be a part of the program and what they learn. It's just truly amazing. And again, I'm honored and humbled to be in a position to have a foundation that can support organizations like that. So again, you know, build.org to support the Build program. Dyrdekmachine.com if you want to support the Do-Or-Dier Visionary Foundation as we continue to do great programs with these other entrepreneur charities and continue to give them both investment in their or donation in their organization and ultimately capital for their graduates to win. But you know, want to be on the show, Dyrdekmachine.com, you know what I mean? Become one of our machinists. And remember, wherever you like, wherever you listen, watch this show, hit us with a comment, like, interact with us, connect with us, you know, social media, whatever it may be. Appreciate every single one of you forever and always, because all I want you to do is have clarity in life. Make sure that you know where you're going in life, and be sure to always push towards living the life that you want. Until next time, see it, believe it, do it.